What's up, everybody, and welcome to my third installment of my Top 5 Sundays. This week, as you might have heard last week, is my top 5 most anticipated games of 2012. Now, I came up with this idea basically myself, but WizKids6488 asked me in my Ask Titan Part 2 what game are you most looking forward to, and that sort of got me in the mindset to do this. So, before we get started, though, I'd like to make a couple of honorable mentions before I get started. First, I'll say an honorable mention to Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time. It is set for a 2012 release date, but it does not have an exact date right now. Wikipedia says it is expected for a release of Q3 or Q4, so it should be released this year, but it doesn't have an exact date. That's why it's not on here. Also, Kingdom Hearts 3D Dream Distance Drop might have been in the top 5 if it had actually been Kingdom Hearts 3, but it's not. It's another game on a non-console system, so it's not on here. I just thought I'd mention it as well. Fable the Journey probably would have gotten on the top 5 if it had not had been a Kinect exclusive game. That knocked it out of the top 5. It was going to be in the top 5, but I noticed that and it was out. And last but not least, BioShock Infinite probably would have been my number 1 game if it had not moved release dates from 2012 to February 2013. So unfortunately, it is no longer released in 2012, so it is not on here. But I do have 5 games that I am looking forward to that did make the list. So here we go. Number 5. Pokemon Black and White 2. Now, I haven't played Pokemon Black and White yet. I started it and then wasn't able to finish it because of some problems with a collaboration channel that I was on. But what I did play of it, it did seem pretty good. And I'm also extremely anticipating it, keyword, because it is the first Pokemon game that is an actual sequel to another. Meaning it takes a storyline from a previous Pokemon and uses it in its own. No other Pokemon game has done this because the third game in every single generation of Pokemon has just been the same game made slightly differently. Like with Yellow, slightly different. Let me think. Crystal, slightly different. Emerald, slightly different. Platinum, slightly different, but Black and White 2 is the first Pokemon game that's a sequel, hence it having 2 in it. But from what I've seen from the people playing it in the Japanese, which is the only video footage I could find for any gameplay stuff, seems pretty good. I haven't watched a lot of it because I don't want anything spoiled, plus I can't understand anything, so I'm not going to really be that interested in it. But it will be interesting to see how they do that. So that is my number 5. Number 4. Diablo 3. Now you may be saying, hey, wait a minute, Titan. That's already been released. Yes, but this is a release of 2012 games, and it was released in 2012 even though it has already been released. And how can you not anticipate Diablo 3? I mean, it's been over a decade, or at least it seems like it's been over a decade. I'm pretty sure it's been over a decade since Diablo 2 came out, and I absolutely love Diablo 2. I have not been able to play Diablo 3, hence it is still anticipated for me, because I really haven't had much time to do it outside of my regular Let's Plays and school and work and all that good stuff. But I am planning on playing it. Hopefully I can play it with maybe my brother. He's also very interested in the Diablo universe. So I was watching it very closely for the last 5-6 years, seeing when it was going to be released since it's been in development, and everything I've seen from it looks fantastic. And probably the class I'll use first is Barbarian, because that's the class I always use first. I love the Barbarian class. It is interesting to see what the other classes will hold. The Witch Doctor interests me, and some of the other magical classes. I'm usually not a ranged weapon kind of guy. I like the close quarters combat and magic. So the Barbarian is good for me with the close quarters combat, and some of the magical people are of interest to me. So we'll see what happens with that, but I'm excited to see what the story will hold. Diablo never disappoints. So that is my number 4. Number 3, Hitman Absolution. Now, I've greatly anticipated this game for the last 5 years since Hitman Blood Money came out and just ended it perfectly with the last credits. If you haven't played it yet, I don't want to spoil it, but it's fantastic. So I have watched that Hitman Run for Your Life trailer so many times. It is unbelievable. I even have it playing in the background in the foreground right now. I'm in the background talking. But I've watched that so many times, and it's so impressive. And it's also made by the same people that make Batman. It changed studios since the last Hitman game, so it has the Batman like X-ray vision thing that he had for Batman, except it's called Assassin's Vision because Hitman's been in the game so long that he's gotten awesome eyes where you can where you can see the enemies coming and going. But they basically explained it like he can recognize patterns of how people move, and that explains how he has the Assassin's Vision and how he can see like the patterns of how people move. It's pretty interesting to me, so I'm interested to see how that will work. And Hitman's always good. I love Hitman. 47 and the relationship between 47 and Diana, I'm interested to see what will happen with that, because there was the other trailer where she was in the shower and Agent 47 was doing a bunch of different crap. So the story has been pretty tightly sealed, so you don't really know that much about it, but I am very interested in it. So that's my number 3. Number 2, Assassin's Creed 3. Now, this is probably my most anticipated Assassin's Creed game since Assassin's Creed 2, because new character, new time, the American Revolution, which I feel like is an excellent time to have an Assassin's Creed game, because the development of like guns and weaponry of that sort is still low enough where the hidden blade and like the tomahawk that Connor uses is still going to be a very effective weapon. I know some people are talking about maybe having it in World War II, but come on, seriously, don't we have enough World War II games as it is? But American Revolution's never really been tapped in a video game before, and Ubisoft doing it with Assassin's Creed has piqued my interest in what they're going to do with it, because in the past couple of games I've been more interested in the story with Desmond outside of the Animus than I have been with the story inside, because I feel like that's the real story that's driving the game, because the events inside the Animus are the events that need to happen in order for the outside world, the real world, to be able to figure out what's going on. And now that he's out of the coma and they're at the quote-unquote whatever cave thing that has been building up towards this, I'm not sure if this will be the last Assassin's Creed game. I think it might be, just because of the fact that Assassin's Creed is set in 2012 and it's based around the 2012 end of the world thing. So this might be the last game, but who knows? Hell, if we survive 2012, maybe they'll have another game, and the game will be set in 2013, and it'll be Desmond, and everyone will be celebrating and stuff like that. But American Revolution, Connor, Tomahawk, George Washington, all that shit, you piqued my interest, so I'm extremely excited to see what's going to happen. Number 1, Halo 4. And of course, Halo tops my list. It's been 5 years since a game featuring Master Chief came out, and putting Master Chief in there again is just gonna skyrocket it once again. With the gameplay footage that I've seen so far, it looks completely different from what Halo 3 was and even what Halo Reach was. It's got a whole new vision thing that you can see right now. Hopefully I have that video playing right now. I'm excited to see what 343 does with the game, since this is the first game Bungie is not making for Halo. I hope they do a good job with it, and I hope that the game stays true to what it has been. I'm sure all the Bungie employees coming over to 343 will make sure that happens, and I'm hoping that it is just another fantastic trilogy. And with the Forerunner stuff that's going on with it, it's going to be very interesting to see what they do with the story. I'm also interested to see what they do and how they change multiplayer heading over from Bungie to 343. If they keep the power-ups as they are, or if they change it slightly. So 343 has a big job ahead of them taking over Halo, and hopefully they are able to come through with it. I mean, Halo is the flagship game of Microsoft, of the Xbox, and if they can put out a quality game for Halo 4, it'll be great for the system heading into the next generation of systems, the Xbox 720 or whatever the hell they're going to call it. So I know that I'm excited for it, and I know the two things I'm going to be doing on November 6th. One is going to be voting, and two is going to be playing Halo 4. That is for definite sure. So that is my number one. So those are my top 5 most anticipated games of 2012. If you want to give me your top 5 most anticipated games of 2012, do so in the comments. And if you want to give me a suggestion for a new top 5 list, please do it in the first video of this series. And if you want to do it in this video, go ahead, I'll just move it over there, save you a trip. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll be sure to be back next week with a new top 5. So take care until then.